Hello, good day once again. My name is Nike Adekunle, and you're welcome to our relationship learning platform. If you are interested in learning about relationships, about marriage, about improving the relationship you have, moving it from where it is presently to that relationship of your dream, you are welcome. And this is a good place to learn and to also build intimacy. Today, I want to talk to us about resolving recurrent crisis that we have in relationships. How do you resolve those recurrent issues that are in your marriage or your relationship? It keeps coming up, it keeps rearing its ugly head. How do you resolve such conflict and crisis in your relationship? And today I want us to look at it from the knowledge aspects. I need you to understand that if you are in a relationship and you're having personality clashes, those kind of issues may not go away. You need to be able to overcome that particular hurdle with a good mindset. If you're having personality clashes with your spouse, the way you are, the way you are wired, and the way your husband or your spouse is wired is different, there will always be a difference. And so it looks like it's going to be recurrent, it looks like it's going to be unresolvable simply because you are having personality clashes. And so what do? How do I know that we are having personality clashes? It is by understanding how someone reasons, how someone responds, how someone acts, how someone reacts, how he responds or she responds to particular issues. When you learn people, you actually pay attention to the person that is right there in front of you, not dealing with the ideal person in your mind, but the person standing in front of you, and you come to accept the person for who he or she is. You discover that the issues will go away. You know that this is this person's personality. So for instance, if your spouse is someone that is introverted, will this person suddenly become overly extroverted? No. But the person, you just begin to know that this person does not want to always go out and would always want to remain quiet in a group. But if you keep complaining about him, we went out, you didn't say more than a word, you are giving a wrong impression, it is your friends that you need to begin to convince that this is how my spouse is. She or he hardly talks. And buy acceptance for your spouse with your friends. Instead of allowing them to label that person, they should know that your spouse is not like you. This person is a quiet person ordinarily, and that is how we will roll with this particular person. So we need to understand when we're having personality clashes with our spouse, the person's makeup, the way the person is wired, the way the person thinks, the way the person talks, the way the person would act and respond to things. These are things that are innate to people. Should they improve? Yes. But will they be able to change 360? No. So by the time you begin to have personality clashes with people, then the person will never, you continue to have that issue, and you will not grow beyond those issues. Another thing that I also want us to consider is, when we are having unresolvable and recurrent issues in our relationship, what other things should we consider? I think it's time for us to consider that, because when people are handling crisis, they don't pay attention to all of the side of the story. You don't pay attention to all sides of the story, and it makes it difficult for people to accept. For instance, and I like to give this classic example, when you are in a relationship with, when a woman, say for instance, a woman is the breadwinner of her home, and she is the one that brings in the money, she's the one that fends for the entire upkeep of the home. And for instance, she didn't prepare food for her husband, or she complains about a particular thing, or she purchases a particular thing, and the husband feels slighted and says that, is it because I don't have money or something that you're acting like this? And the person is apologetic and apologizes. I think that if we are going to resolve such a crisis, we should not just look at the issue of the rudeness alone, because people always look at one side of the story to judge a particular matter, and there's no how you are judging issues from a particular perspective alone that will satisfy both partners. So we should look at it. What wrong has this person committed, and what wrong has the other person committed? And that's where you're able to look at things holistically. Because if you look at the fact that, okay, you didn't tell me before you bought something, and I say I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, and everybody keeps saying you slight your husband, you are spiting him, the way you treat him is bad, you are a bad wife. Don't forget that she is also suffering and carrying the whole expense of the family. Being the breadwinner of the family is never easy for a wife, because don't forget that she also is facing ridicule from her friends, sort of, because people will always, women brag about what their husbands do for them. They are always trying to let people know. We are always quick to let people know how my husband is taking care of me. So she doesn't have the liberty of, those kind of boasts where her friends have. So instead of her to carry the burden of facing outsiders, explaining her situation, I come home, I face the home, I think the husband too should also be willing to support in a way that she will not be carrying the burden of dealing with all the other extra issues that come with a woman, having more money in a relationship. So we have several other things that we want to talk about, but because of our time, like I said, I'm going to be doing this in bits. But if you're in a hurry and you want to learn more about these things, you can register for a course of ours. It's online, and the link will be provided below, so you can register for online course on conflict, and you find out more about conflicts and why we have issues in our relationship. So until I come your way next time, remember that recurrent issues in the home can be overcome by wisdom and by knowledge. So until I come your way next time, bye.